Alrighty, here we go. We are live. Watchlist time going into Tuesday, May 6th, tomorrow. Few trades on my end. Didn't really amount to much today, but swings are continuing to work. So while they're printing, we'll continue to do that. Day trades just kind of spotty here and there in small caps. So not putting a ton of size in those, but SEP basically traded the plan that I was looking for on the watch list yesterday. Was looking for a gap down and panic into these looking left breakout level, and that's what we got. It was pretty straight down. I reacted to it. Volume started to pick up. We got a little green candle and first bar to make a new high. So felt like it should have gone if it was going to. And once it didn't, I moved on. Small loss there. Still interested in it going into tomorrow. It's pulling back into that 30 hold $half level and prior support. Could be a backside bounce for a rally back up into the 40s. I think it'd be better if it broke 30 and faded a little bit more down to those like 24, 25. But flushes towards 30, see how they act, possible backside bounce. I traded the plan on Hertz. That was a main watch today. Gave some back. No real reason for the cover. So I had shorted some in pre just because we got the gap up once it spiked and failed. And then coming into open, shorted some and realized we had a double top here on the daily in the 710s. So I added to full size with hard stop at 720. And then once we started to open and the opening range got taken out, I didn't fill it all, so I chased a little bit, sub 650s. And once 650s failed, I was using that over under as a guide. So all in all, had like a 650-ish average and was risking like 630s. So caught a nice 3-to-1 trade. Covered, rescaled, covered. And then started to get back in there on Pop's first VWAP. And there was no reason to cover. Nice topping action, hard crack. Held lows and then started to come back. So I wasn't interested in fighting it. I had some price alerts, so I covered it while I was off desk. No real reason to cover. It never firmed up over that 650 daily failed fall through and also ended up closing on low a day. I think it was just I think I expected the trade to happen quicker, I think. Yeah, I was short a bunch here and then covered and then shorting basically a little bit above where my covers were. But if I get stopped through highs, I'm basically giving back the entire day on this trade. So I think that was part of it as well, was a poor average. And then I think once it broke 650 and then you get this VWAP failed follow through, I was assuming it should have died here. And once it didn't, I didn't want to start fighting it and force a bias. So I think the swing thesis is still there, but I am currently no longer there. Probably gaps down and you get that sub 6 flush, but I won't be participating any longer. Keep my little green trade on it today, and move on. I added to GUR according to the plan on that 17 breakdown. Looking left the last few days here, once it broke, scaled in, added to the winner, and continues to work. So really nice setup here. Was a high conviction trade. I've gone over plenty, but 15 is that last line of defense before it opens up back to the 200 moving average, which is down at the 12s. So hopefully it takes out 15 tomorrow and we get a nice steady unwind. Possible covers coming my way tomorrow. What else? Tesla, I got stopped on that one. That was that swing trade over the weekend. I had bought this lower high trend break right through here in the 290-ish and was risking low a day. So got stopped under 280. No real trend forming on it. So I think we've got the 200 on this one sitting in those 290s, and now we've got a double top flat breakout in this 295. So I think that's probably the breakout I'll trade, not so much like an early entry idea, but once it remounts to 200 and breaks 295, I think then I should take the trade. For now, looks like it's failing and no reason for me to anticipate that one. What else? So those are all the trades from Sepker, Hertz, and Tesla. Pony, a bit bigger range than I would have expected, but so far behaving. I wanted to see an inside day of this prior day. I thought it would have been a bit tighter, but it is still an inside day. And as long as this is above 860, then I think bulls are still in control. I would like to see this little 960, 970. If you recall, that was that over-under level all through here, and then that little dip level that I played off of. And that's where we base today. So if this could start to build off of it, I think it probably continues to roll over. Not a short setup I would take just based on the action. But what I would like to see is it start to hold those mid-nines and start to perk back, and then maybe Wednesday or Thursday we get that 1130s break that really gets going. It did break it by a few pennies like this prior high, but still kind of a double top-ish. It didn't break it convincingly, it just kind of popped through it a couple times. So definitely on watch for later in the week. I just hope it continues to hold up and doesn't completely give way. Omex, good start on that idea. Nice bounce back day. Not a ton of range, 110 to like 130, 20 cents on a dollar name isn't crazy, but a break of that downtrend highs and a nice trend coming back. So we'll see how the next couple days act. If pops start to get sold, maybe there's a bunch of bags, maybe it's got to work through a new shareholder base. But currently it's acting the way I would like to see, how I expect. A bit thicker, and now just need to see what it's going to do for the rest of the week. Weight Watcher, definitely a better bounce than I would have expected. Off of that 50 cent level, right up into the 80s. Straight up and all higher lows versus VWAP. Lots of swipes back and forth, not super clean action, but definitely stronger than I would have expected. This daily definitely hasn't gone away. It filled that gap lower, and now could set a lower high, could set a higher low. This is where I don't think that there's much edge. I'm going to let it do its thing, and same plan as a bunch of the other ones. We'll keep an eye for later. Navini, I see Hype and Buzz commented that one. Was definitely a backside bounce. Bounce day did happen a bit much in pre-market than I typically like. I was looking for it off that 30 cent level. We got a little flat into pre-market, and then once it started to perk up, that was just up and away. So if you're a bit proactive and premature in the entry, definitely a really good risk-reward opportunity. I even contemplated taking a swing over the weekend, but I didn't want to carry Friday's problem into Monday, but it really nice move. And this is the same kind of thing as Weight Watcher. Just a recent runner that has now pushed, pulled, and it's in consolidation. So whether it's going to set a higher low off of 30, a lower high off of 76, I don't know. This is a pretty dilutive name with its Series A and B shares. It's convertibles. So I think odds favor a lower high here, at least in the midterm, before it picks its next direction. I doubt I'm going to trade the bounce short on this. Volume coming back in, and with those all-day trends, typically those bounces push up into prior resistance and then round trip, which kind of gives you that inkling that there's bag holders in this chart. And this one just continued to grind and churn through those bag holders. So whether it was mostly shorts or whether it was dilution that just got used up and now it's out of the way. So I don't know. No immediate plans on it for me right now. Ideally, same kind of thing as Pony, same kind of thing as Weight Watcher. Let it push, pull, consolidate, and then possible breakout down the line. Kids, this one's behaving well. A lot of these names, like recent runners from the last week or two, I've gone over here with some theses, I guess it would be. And this one with the JNVR UPXI sympathy, they typically go on their secondary legs with their fundamental similarities. So this one, push, pull, kind of a first red day, a bit choppy and volume was abysmal. So would have worked, but if you weren't proactive on those covers on that quick pull, it came right back. So I like the way that this one is holding up. I will be watching this for similar to like a CEP or anything of that nature. JNVR was the kind of the playbook off. What? Why isn't that chart working? Might have name changed. UPXI, we can look at that one. Push, pull, sets its secondary leg. See if anyone in chat knows about to happen to JNVR. Maybe a ticker change. Look. JNVR became DFDV today. DFDV. So this is the new JNVR, but right kind of here. So you get that push, couple days, and then re-breakout. So I'll be looking for that on kids. Ideally another day of consolidation, and then maybe get a breakout down the line. Players. This one has got some liquidity trap potential. Let me catch up on chat here. Flashnet, Nvidia, and WW on the watch list. Yes, sir. Small profits on both of those for me today. Well done, well done. Get in where you fit in. Made some memories. Players, liquidity trap potential. Big day one volume. History of giving it all back right after those little pop and drops. So shorts looking for the same thing. They definitely could have got popped in after hours, or maybe they don't have after hours stops and thought that they withstood the squeeze. But we've got this big volume, little shelf here you can see with the volume profile, and it's consolidating and holding over it. So if this starts to break and build 120s plus, I like dips over under versus a buck, and then a 120s plus for confirmation. Definitely a possible T+1 going into tomorrow. Shorts are underwater from day one, and no real volume here on day two. If this fails sub 90, no interest. It has to hold today's consolidation for me to want to play it. HTZ touched briefly. I still think pops for 650 should fail and get back into that 570, 580 gap fill range. If I get like a straight up spike, if we open 620 straight up spike, I probably react to it for a round trip. But if we are opening $6 or so and just starts to fizzle out, I will let it be. Saddle, already went over that one. Jeepus, big runner from today. Same kind of thing as any of these day 1% gainers. Let them do their thing. This one's up 400% right now. It's up a hell of a lot higher at 9, up from a $1 prior close. So nice move, maybe a T+1 down the road or something of that sort. Maybe a multi-day run. Maybe it goes on a second day move and then can get that mean reversion trade. But we will see. Nito, I've got this one on watch for a first red day, similar to Navini, where you get that little topping day. I think Weight Watcher had one where you get this little topping day and then it fades off. So we get this topping day and a bunch of bags up overhead, a 600 million share day. Did close around 70 cents and gapping sub 60. So if it opens down here, I likely can't take it. I would need to be able to use a 70 cent risk with like a 40 cent-ish reward. So for that to make sense, like 60 cents is risking 10 to make 20 is only a 2 to 1. So I need at least a 60 plus entry, like a 60 to 65, and use that 70 cents as a guide. So ideally, maybe a 60 open, a 70 shove, and then play that failed follow through versus highs. But I definitely think there's enough bags up here, 70 plus, that this could warrant a first red day pullback. It's up from about 25 cents to 80 cents, so not crazy range, but I think singles potential on it. ABVE, this one's a bit frustrating. The first red day had a bit of range, but nothing crazy, and then today was the clean one, and of course I wasn't trading it, wasn't watching it. This one here chopping around back and forth most of the day, and then this one here, one little morning pop and completely unwinds, 50% down in the day. So I ended up missing this one today. The next stage in my playbook is that backside bounce. Not a crazy liquid name, but it's coming back into these 110s, 120s. A prior line that I had drawn from the initial run lines up with this volume profile level, and nice sideways consolidation here today. The type of name where I'd give it one shot. If it doesn't work, then just take it off radar. But I think off of these 110s, I think there's room up to this 160 to 180 range for a bounce. It's down 50% today. Can it go lower? Yes. If it takes out prior day's lows, I think it favors just a complete round trip on the daily. It was up quite a bit, but like I always go over, I like those elastic moves. Stretches to the upside, stretches to the downside, maybe a little bounce, and then it picks its next direction. So I will watch that one for a bounce as well. MRIN, I mentioned this one on Twitter this evening because you can see the volume that came in here pre 7 a.m., and it completely gets smoked, and then somebody knew something was coming after hours because they held those and and got rewarded for it. So whether they got insider information or something, I don't know, but it's always funny to see. It happens like so often. You see it all the time with those China names where they'll wash stuff back and forth. It'd be like 5 days before, and then all of a sudden the bid just pulls. So this one, they get filled a few 100,000 shares and then bump it up 100% and make a killing. So, and then IMMP, the last one I am putting on watch, just a big percent gainer. If you had traded a couple years ago, this one here was a big percent gainer in the, was it there? It was with, I can't remember where it was. I thought it was in the last couple of years. But it has had a history of big percent gainers and a nice trend there today. So this would be the type where I'd like to see it go on a multi-day run. You can see on the daily it likes to give back those big moves. So if this can run for another day or two, I would definitely be interested in a backside move. But nothing I'm currently interested in playing on it. 517, it might have been. Yeah, I thought it was within the last couple of years. Yeah, it might have been that day. Might have been. I do remember it. I also could be thinking of IMPP. Could be getting my names confused. Because I think this one went with the oil and gas names. Maybe I was getting them confused. Because IMPP went with Indo and Husa and all them. Why did I go to USAR? What the hell? Maybe I'm getting them confused. Can you analyze Finger? Made small profit, but thought it could have went higher. And then Flashnet traded IMPP for a small scalp. It moves slow. Looks like it could go higher. We'll watch it. Yeah, I like these slower, kind of thicker movers because you don't get that swipe risk. Kind of like pony. Like when you look at it trading on its front side. Like we could be in like this stage of IMMP and it doesn't move crazy range. Like this was only up a buck 20 on this day. And the next day, just steady highs, grind, grind, grind. And then once it starts to speed up in after hours, and then it gaps up in pre market. And then that's when you get that huge range. But you don't get that whipsaw, like thin tape action where it swipes you back and forth. And I like trading those because it's like whatever size you're comfortable with, and you got like set risk, and they're just easier trades. Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know if they're slow movers. Like they move decent percentage. Like it's up 40% today. It's I'd call it like more steady, like thicker, steady names. Yeah, let me go over finger. I think I saw that on scan. I think it was kind of a scammy looking. Yeah, it trades super thin, like 3 million shares on a $2-3 name. Hasn't gone red in 4 days. Yeah, this isn't really something I would trade. This is that thin where you get caught and stuff like this. I don't really think there's a ton to analyze here for me. It's not up enough to short. It's not trading enough volume for me to short. There's no consolidation for me to long. Um, yeah. So I'm not too much help on this name there. If there's a story behind it or something that I don't know, then maybe there's something there. But this isn't really something I would look to trade personally. Just gonna pull up here Nate's watch list and just check. I've ran my scans, but like we went over last week, how I like to review, I went over Kyle's watch list and just check on what Nate's looking at. Can't believe Rigetti's still up. This is one of those quantum names. It's just a piece of trash stock. Can't believe it's still up. It should be back at $2. Excuse me. Palantir had earnings after hours and got whacked. GME, kind of a bit of failed follow through on the daily. I've got this 2680 line, and this daily is kind of starting to roll over. I don't love it just because of the name, but there is some merit to a trade there. I wish it was trading like this kind of range, not so much these choppy candles. Michael Anthony. do not know. Talking about Pfizer. Not a name I would trade, not super volatile. But if you got edge on it, trade it. Do you trade pre-market at all? Maybe like 5% of the time. And usually, like I'll trade if there's like a parabolic. Those are usually pretty clean. I can't remember off the top of my head the last parabolic and pre I took, but those are usually decent opportunities because you don't get the halt levels. So you get like real exhaustion without any pause in price action. So I do like pre-market parabolics on small caps. Sometimes if a stock is gapping in a favorable entry direction, something like Hertz today, like I took a pre-market entry, two of them, right over here and right over here. So I had two entries there before the market opened, because it was gapping up, which was favorable. I thought it might gap down sub 650. And then once it was red, I thought by the open I might have to chase, which is exactly what happened. So it turns out that those couple entries kind of saved the average. So if I have a trade plan coming into the day and then the stock is gapping in a favorable direction, I'll take a starter entry and then look to add after open to full size. But in terms of like how guys are trading like these gappers and pre and stuff, I don't like. Nate, I know, was trading this one up here. Like what he was looking for, this high a day exhaust and then fail fall through. So he's short and he's got a good trade going, but then once market opens, like you can see complete trend shift. So I find myself, if I'm shorting these in pre, even if I'm covering by market open, I'm still looking for pops to short and carrying this bias throughout the day. Something like Invini would have paid to play in pre-market. You would have got the best entry of the day, buying it at 34 cents and never look back. So in some cases it works. But yeah, maybe like 5% of the time I'll take pre-market trades. With GME, yeah, I'm typically not looking to buy breakdowns. I'm typically looking to short breakdowns. So when a stock is breaking under key support levels, I'm not looking to buy it, personally. But so in terms of watches tomorrow, I think possible covers towards like 15 on GER. Maybe start to cover some. And then if it stays heavy, maybe re-add for those 12s. But I think there is a world where I start to cover that swing tomorrow. See where we're gapping. Ideally, we get some SPY help eventually. A nice sell-off there into the close, but we've been steady highs for quite a while. So ideally, we get some SPY help that starts to pull GER down with it. SEP, I'm going to be interested in flushes towards 30 and then possible opening range breaks for pops back up into the 40s. I think there is a world where we get a backside bounce into this, so I will keep that one on watch. A ton of recent runners: Pony, Omex, WW, Navini. I think that was most of them. Where they've pushed, pulled, and they're consolidating. I'm waiting for them to choose the next direction. Navini up 60%, Weight Watcher up 30%, Omex up 11%, Pony down 4%, but they're all within their recent daily range, so I will wait for them to break above resistance, break below support, and then look to join that trend on those. Kids, not really sure what to do with it yet, so same kind of thing, let it do its thing. PLRZ, possible T+1 set up tomorrow. HTZ, I think pops for 650, should stay heavy, and I think you got that gap filled to the 5s. Nito pops for 70 cents. Keep that one on watch for a first red day. So far gapping down. And then ABVE, possible backside bounce into this little confluence low 1 zone. So those are my watches. Watch kids for that second wind. Yeah, I'll keep it on watch. Omex pop today was just because it was oversold, a little oversold trend break. Had these lower highs, and once it finally broke through those mid 110s, little 113, 114, that was the reason. Like, it's been steady lows, and once shorts get a reason to cover and you get discount buyers coming in, you get that little inflection point. So see where this one picks its trend for later. Yeah, I think kids is still worth keeping on watch. I think we'll have some range. I know plenty of people are short bias on it. Maybe there's enough longs that know it's got the same kind of background as those other names, and maybe it's long crowded. I don't know, but no real trade on it for me until it picks a direction. Yeah, but I think what I got over is pretty much all I got for tomorrow. I won't try to overdo it. So, sorry it was a bit later this evening. I was running a bit behind. Had to finish up with what I was doing today. So, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. Good chat. Hope you guys are trading well. We'll see a few of you in Investors Underground in the morning. Watch the Investors Underground YouTube and Twitter accounts. They are doing a live broadcast for free for everyone. They will stream it in the morning. So like a 15-minute, 20-minute webinar in the morning preparing for market open. So feel free to check that out. It will be at 8:45 Eastern across all of their streaming platforms. So check that one out. I will not be on it. They have enough guys, 3 or 4 guys that are going to hop on. So I will not be. But yeah, figured I'd give you guys a heads up. Sounds good. Thanks, FlashNet. Alrighty, thank you guys. Take it easy, and I will see you guys on the next watch list. Peace.